Hey, it's Molly. Welcome back to my YouTube channel as we take a look at the December 4th Sagittarius solar eclipse happening on December 4th at 2:44 a.m. That is Eastern time, so be sure and adjust for your location on the planet. So with this solar eclipse, it is a new moon, which is the case for every solar eclipse, and it's occurring at 12 degrees of Sag, where the sun and the moon are conjunct here at this point in your chart. And this is where you would want to identify the house where you have 12 degrees of Sagittarius, as this is a powerful new beginning point. This is the last Sagittarius solar eclipse that we will be having until 2029, and it is an energy of completion and new beginnings. It's where something is coming forward for you to trust and embrace and to really harness the power of the Sagittarius energies. Sagittarius is a fire sign, masculine sign, and mutable sign. And this means we are really working with our ability to work with where we're at, start something new, and trust who you are now. Trust the knowledge you've accumulated, what you've learned, what you've come to understand about yourself, and now apply it into something motivational and inspiring going forward. So this is a very powerful point as the sun and the moon are conjunct, and you can see that Mercury is also right here at 15 degrees of Sag. Now, Mercury is actually in his detriment in Sagittarius, and that means he's furthest away from his home sign of Gemini. Gemini is where Mercury is strongest and where he excels. When Mercury the messenger is in Sagittarius, he is focused on the bigger picture, what is happening, what is possible, and he overlooks the details. He misses points, he misses things or bits of information that are important. So this is an energy of looking at the bigger perspective of where you're going, what the next adventure is, perhaps the next call of your soul, the next energy that inspires you to move forward. And this Mercury is giving you ways to perceive it and to think about it, even if you don't know all the details, even if you don't know how it's going to come together or what exactly is going to happen. This is a Mercury that is more focused on what could be, what the potentials are. And because Sagittarius is a mutable sign, there is a strength to be flexible, to go with the flow, to stay open to choices and possibilities, to not be too locked in to one particular outcome or path, where the more open-minded you are, the more you would be open to how you can be supported in many ways. So there is the energy here of multiple possibilities, multiple paths unfolding, but when you trust yourself, which is part of the Sagittarius experience, you trust what is true for you, you trust what is calling to you or where you're feeling the energy the strongest. Now, this is a solar eclipse in Sag, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And here we have Jupiter at 25 degrees of Aquarius, where it is finishing up its time in Aquarius, and it won't return here for another 12 years. So Jupiter is moving through the last 5 degrees of Aquarius, where it was earlier this year. And there is something here that is opening up to you as perhaps a vision, idea, or something that has been speaking to you energetically from your future self, from a future potential. This energy is opening you up to maybe what you didn't see before, to what was not possible because you weren't in energetic alignment with it. But now this Jupiter in Aquarius is asking you to focus on what you can create going forward. And also what's interesting is that we have the Saturn at 9 degrees of Aquarius, which is making a sextile to the sun and the moon. And that sextile from Saturn is a stabilizing energy. So these two planets in Aquarius are connecting us with future potentials, messages from your future self. It's also the energy of independence. That's very strong in this chart because Aquarius is an independent energy, really wants freedom and the ability to do things your own way. And that is similar to the energies of Sag. So there's a strong imprint here of stepping into more of your individual spark and trusting how you're different, trusting what makes you unique, and how that is perhaps exactly what you're hearing, what you're moving towards is more of the sense of this is who I am, this is what's speaking to me, and it's lifting my energy. It's very motivating, it's inspiring, and that's because you're connecting with another timeline or another part of your own energy that perhaps is already living that experience. Or at least a part of your own energy that understands how it can come together. And that is one of the gifts of Jupiter in Aquarius, is that we can see how things can come together, can work together, even when they are complicated or complex. So there's a lot of independence here with this particular solar eclipse. Now, the other strong energy we have going on is this Venus at 22 Capricorn approaching an exact conjunction here to Pluto. And this energy of their conjunction is in place for most of December. This would even be considered a conjunction because they're only 3 degrees apart. And yet Venus has not stationed retrograde yet, which she will do on December 19th, which is right around the Gemini full moon, 2 weeks after this solar eclipse. So there is some type of deeper story being rewritten here, where Venus is moving along and meeting up with Pluto, the god of the underworld, who is going to take her through a deep transformational process into March 2022. This is the energy of Venus, who can be naive and very much unaware of how she's operating. Well, now she's going to meet up with her shadow. She's going to meet up with her fears. She's going to meet up with more of her own untapped power through the Venus energies that we work with. And Venus is connected with how we love and accept ourselves, our sense of personal value and self-worth. She's connected with relationships, how she interacts and experiences relationships in her world. She's concerned with what she buys, what she accumulates, where she invests and spends her money. So this Venus is going to be moving through a very intense process where you could have a deep reprogramming and even deconditioning of what you no longer value in your life or in your world. So this can signify big life changes, especially if you have any planets or points here in these degrees of Capricorn. The Capricorn energies are about the long term, what you've built, what you've created, what you've accomplished. And also, as it meets Capricorn, this is the energy of dismantling, of I don't want that anymore. I'm not interested in that anymore. I'm done with this job or this career, this profession. This no longer is true for me. This no longer calls to me. This Venus energy is going to have some deep questioning and an intense understanding of who she really is and how she really wants to spend her life. And in Capricorn, again, this is about the bigger overarching understanding of your life, where there's a sense of what is on my bucket list? What does it mean to me to live a good life? Where am I going next? Who am I now? These are bigger questions. So here we have, during this solar eclipse, with this forward-moving independent energy of Sagittarius and Aquarius, we also have the responsibility and commitment energy of Capricorn that also is about cutting back. It's the understanding that less is more. How can I conserve? How can I save? So it's almost like there could be a sense of you're looking at where you're retracting your energy so that you're ready for this new beginning and where you're going next. But there's maybe parts of your life you have to get into alignment with the future. So for example, if you're wanting to make a career change, you could be looking at your job and understanding you're done with it or it's no longer right for you. But in order to move forward into the next chapter or the next career, maybe you have to save some money first and you have a plan in place of what you're going to save over the next 6 months. Or, you're giving yourself a year to figure it out so that you can move on to something new. So there's a planning element with Capricorn, and it's bringing it down to something personal in our lives because Venus is a personal planet. So there's like this personal reworking of what matters to you so that you can further connect with the new dreams and goals that are calling to you. So I feel like this can be a life reorganization where you're looking at how far you've come, what you've accomplished, the results, what you've been through, what you've learned. And there can also be a preparatory energy here of understanding, okay, I have to make some significant changes in order to get to where I want to go next, and because I trust myself. And so this could even go back to Mercury and Sag, where you see what you want, like you're tapped in energetically, but that Mercury doesn't have all the details yet. You're just trusting it. You're trusting what you don't quite understand or know, but you know there will be an answer, and that's what you're trusting. You're trusting that the universe has an answer for you, even if you're not clear on it just yet. Now, this solar eclipse is conjunct the Great Attractor, and I've done podcast episodes on that, so I'm not going to repeat myself. But essentially, this energy of the Great Attractor, which is at 14 degrees of Sag, is going to further amplify your own vibration and frequency of what you're ready to attract in. Because the universe sees you as powerful, as a creator of your life, as this giant energetic being who is in a human body, and how are you using your energy? So this eclipse, conjunct the Great Attractor, is going to potentially open up your own frequency and open you up to higher consciousness of what you can attract in. It's almost like the energy of the law of attraction amplified, turned up or exponentially powerful during this eclipse. And so you could see some things very clearly in your life that you both want next and you no longer want it all. I mean, this could be the ending of a significant life chapter. This could be a big energetic turnover where you're clear on, you know what, that's really done for me. I have no energy for it, no connection to it. Our frequency is not in alignment. I'm just done. So that can be with anything in your life. For more specifics, you'd want to look at where you have a 12 to 15 degrees of Sagittarius, because that house is the area of life where this energy is showing up for you. And this is revealing to you how much you've grown and what you've moved through, what you've adapted to, and how you have even approached your own soul growth in this lifetime. Another energy in this chart to make note of is this Chiron at 8 degrees of Aries. Chiron will be stationing direct in December, around December 19th. But this is the energy of how you're developing the independence and courage to do something on your own terms. And this furthers the theme of independence in this chart, because Aries is also an independent sign, just like Aquarius and Sagittarius. And this Chiron is trining the sun and the moon in Sag, adding in a sense of what are you learning to do on your own. And because this Chiron has already been at 8 degrees, it was here twice in 2020 and earlier in 2021, there's something you have healed that's going to be shifting for you in December. Chiron is not going to return to this 8 degrees of Aries. This Chiron is actually hanging out at this 8 degree point for most of the month and won't return here for another 49 years. I feel like this furthers the idea of what you're ready to move forward to on your own because of what you've healed throughout 2020 and this year. And you could feel a shift. You could feel something falling away. It's almost like that injury or a scar, something has healed over. It's softened. It's no longer painful. It no longer feels as vulnerable. It's something that maybe has been neutralized, or it's something that you've worked through and you feel an energetic shift around it. I feel like that's part of this new start here in this solar eclipse, where there's something that you're complete with, and that in fact makes you ready. Makes you ready for this next beginning and to see where it can go into the future, especially. Now, at this time, we also have Mars here in Scorpio traveling behind the sun. And think of this as the last soldier marching, the soldier that is bringing up the rear, that's moving things forward, making sure that essentially nothing is left behind or forgotten. This is a powerful Mars in Scorpio, and it's bringing in an energetic push to keep moving forward. There's no going back. This Mars in Scorpio isn't going to let you go back, and in fact is more concerned with how you're powerfully moving forward. And especially because Mars is making a sextile to this Venus and Pluto in Capricorn, and is supporting the changes that you're ready for, supporting it with a sense of that passion and drive that Mars in Scorpio is known for, and also helping you stay the course, even if the transformations are tough at times. This Mars in Scorpio gives you the grit and tenacity to stay focused on where you're going next. So this is a powerful support system for these changes that Venus is undergoing. Now, also coming up in December, we're going to have the third and final square between this Uranus in Taurus at 11 degrees retrograde, and it will happen when this Saturn is at 11 degrees of Aquarius. This is the third and final square, and I'm going to have a separate video for you discussing that energy even more. But it's part of this desire for change, but it's been a slow, uncomfortable process. I mean, this is the energy of maybe you thought something would have changed by now, but it's been really slow going because of this ongoing square to Saturn, where you can see what you want, you can see what you're moving towards, or even what is calling to you, but it hasn't been fluid or easy. There's been this tension and a sense of things have had to be taken care of. And again, it's been uncomfortable at times. So this December has the third and final square that's happening December 23rd. And I wanted to give you that heads up because this solar eclipse, this new moon, is going to help with the push to move forward despite the tension. Where maybe you're aware of where there's pressure to change. That's been part of this energy signature. Pressure to change, but it's slow moving. And it can feel like, why hasn't this happened yet? Or why does it feel like I've been doing all this work, but I'm not seeing the shifts, or I'm not seeing something different show up just yet. That's part of this energy we're working with throughout December that also relates to this Venus conjunct Pluto tension, where it can seem like things haven't quite come together yet because they're still being deeply reworked, reprogrammed, and even another alignment is happening. So we have an interesting month ahead. December has a lot of big energies. And I feel like this Sagittarius new moon solar eclipse brings in new levels of trust and belief in yourself. Believe that you have everything you need. Believe in yourself. Believe that even if you don't know the clear answers or details just yet, you will. You will know the answers. You will figure it out. It will come through. You're not going to be left hanging. But this is an understanding that this is a new start, a burst of energy moving you forward, especially to get you moving into some new life dreams and to not give up on them. I feel like this is a renewal of hope. If there's something you lost hope about or you no longer thought it was possible, this is a huge download of new possibilities, new dreams, new potentials. It's very inspiring energy. So it could be useful to make the most of that and to look at what is calling to you now. And this energy is going to continue on. And in fact, it will also peak with the Gemini full moon that happens at 27 degrees of Gemini on December 18th and 19th. And I'll have another video for you very soon on that energy as well. So as always, thank you so much for joining me here. I appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing these videos, your comments, likes, and subscribes. And I hope this helps you navigate this final month of 2021. Thank you so much, and I'll see you back here very soon.